Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to now invite all of you here to please stand for the national anthem of the Republic of Sierra Leone. 6 valiant men who have decided to sacrifice everything because they have a vision to lead the people of Sierra Leone over the next 5 years. Now is the time to ask you all to talk to the people of Sierra Leone in your opening shots. Tell them why you are the best person deserving of their votes. First candidate in the order in which you balloted, Alhaji Musa Tarawali of the Citizens Democratic Party. You have 1 minute, 30 seconds.
Moderator, distinguished guests, listeners and viewers, greet you all. Assalamu alaikum. I want to thank God and the organizers of this great event for establishing a platform which I stand to present my inspiration, my experience, and vision as the formula for our growth. I developed this vision at age 16, that of an experienced and seasoned politician. We have to establish a sincere platform on which we place our people, the center of national development, making them the ultimate beneficiaries of the process. We have to accept the Almighty God as the foundation and driving force. There is no way we can develop Sierra Leone without the inclusion of our people and that of the fear of God. The inclusion of our people will provide them the capacity to be responsible to government.
And at this moment, I'd like to say thank you very much. You've got the 1 minute left. Alhaji Musa Tarawali. Let's turn now to Dr. Samura Kamara of the All People's Congress.
Thank you, sir. Welcome back to your motherland. Good evening, Sierra Leoneans, family, good evening. Humble them, I, Samura Kamara, stand before you tonight to let you know that I am very much ready and determined to lead our nation on a shared journey to prosperity. I'm doing so humbled and privileged with the honor bestowed upon me by the All People's Congress Party as their presidential candidate for the 2018 general elections. I'm taking up this responsibility with a humble beginning, with a shared experience, wide experience in managing the affairs of this country for over 40 years, have been at the sharp end of the challenges and the policies we have taken as a country to move away from the shackles of the war, Ebola, and the mudslide. Because I am sure you, by my side, to move Sierra Leone from the solid foundation we have as a party built for the. I sat behind any from that broadcasting board. I'm going to use that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Samura Kamara of the All People's Congress. Let's turn now to retired Brigadier Julius Madabio of the Sierra Leone People's Party. Your opening show.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. Today, Sierra Leone is at the crossroad. After 57 years of independence, this great nation is still unequal and undivided and a divided society. We have not fulfilled the development aspirations of all Sierra Leoneans. So this election is actually about the future of this great nation, the future of our children, and the future of our children's children. What is now abundantly clear is that the 10 years of APC misrule and economic mismanagement has definitely created considerable suffering for the people of this country. From Kamakwie to Pujehu, from Kono to Freetown, and everywhere, people are suffering under the weight of corruption and the mismanagement of the All People's Congress. I have seen it at first hand, from Falaba to Kedima and from Kailan to Port Loko. The people want change. The people are tired of the suffering of paying for a bag of rice at 200,000 from only 60,000 in 2007. The people want democratic change to end their suffering. But what type of change do we want for this great nation? What type of change do we want for our children's future? What type of change?
Retired Brigadier Julius Madabio of the Sierra Leone People's Party. Let's turn now to Mr. Mohamed Kamarimba Mansare of the Alliance Democratic Party.
Fellow Sierra Leoneans, I greet you with humility. There's light end of the tunnel. Definitely light at the end of the tunnel. The 19th of January, I completed nominations with NEC to be a presidential candidate. Officially, my name is going to be changed in 3 weeks from Mohamed Kamarimba Mansare to His Excellency President Mohamed Kamarimba Mansare. I want to assure you, if you're the most fitted person currently here, the person that knows where to take Sierra Leone, the person who knows how to create opportunities for this country, is me. Every Sierra Leone will agree that my fellow colleagues here, they've served this country. Their records, I cannot, as the next 2 hours, they will tell their own records. But I can show you, come March 7th, I'm going to deliver this country with real opportunities and make this country a better country. I want to thank you all.
Mr. Mohamed Kamarimba Mansare of the Alliance Democratic Party. And next we have Dr. Kande Kole Yunkela of the National Grand Coalition.
Fellow Sierra Leoneans, I joined politics, be able to create an inclusive, fair, free and just society in which every citizen can unleash their potential. My vision is to create a dynamic, expanding economy that will create jobs and wealth for the people of Sierra Leone, the youth, the women, the disabled, a country where the rule of law is respected, where we have an effective, efficient, neutral justice system, and where we protect we protect the right of the future generation to the mineral wealth that the Almighty gave us. Salon people, atima before una today with the grace of God, for tell una say, I join politics to can fight for the common man. For that mami where they go sell na market, enable go bet with better money in a house. For that teacher where not they get salary, for that nurse where they not they pay, that ex-serviceman where they don't suffer for this country, but they not able to live a good life. I come for help una, now that make I come into politics. So I'm very grateful for this opportunity, and I thank and congratulate the organizers for starting a new epoch in our history. Thank you very much.
We'll now turn to the final, the sixth presidential contender at the Presidential Debate 2018 here in Sierra Leone. And that is Alhaji Chief Samuel Samsumana of the Coalition for Change.
Thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. Moderator, fellow contestants, and fellow Sierra Leoneans, I say good evening. It is an opportunity to be here again once more, and I say thanks be to God Almighty to giving me this opportunity. I stand as a symbol of injustice in Sierra Leone, as a patriot who has decided that the scope of work that was given to me once upon a time by the people of this great country, bend and uphold the constitution of this great nation. Having done that to my best aptitude, I have decided that no matter what are the consequences, I am ready to fight for the liberation of the nation. Not only the political emancipation of this, but also the economic emancipation. I stand today remembering a young man back there, young man who asked me that he needs education. Stand here today recalling a 5-year-old Junior Fuller who has prostrate because of tumor of test. And I stand here today as evidence of this side who's saying what are the benefits that this country owes, what future of spring. And I say, I stand as an identity for the economic emancipation, protector of
Alhaji Chief Samuel Samsumana of the Coalition for Change. Thank you very much, gentlemen. We have a well-scripted program, but tonight I have all the power. So I decided to veer off from the script for a moment and give you all what we used to call hot mental. I'll ask you a question or two, but I'll only give you 30 seconds to share on your views on these. Today, sad news Komon-Tok. What Komode say? One woman, a man threw away fuel paddle, a light fire paddle woman, a bondi woman. And in the way people can do against women, bad thing them, what they call violence, gender-based violence or violence against women. That thing waking up in our country. So I want to ask Una today, is for 30 seconds, if you are elected president, what concrete steps will you take to end violence against women and girls? Let me start first with Alhaji Musa Tarali of the Citizens Democratic Party. 30 seconds.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. The victim, I support. Politics do not be war. We are aspiring to create the enabling environment for our people. I become president today. I will establish a secured and integrated infrastructure.
Alhaji Musa Tarali, thank you very much. Let's turn now to Dr. Samura Kamara of the All People's Congress. Dr. Samura Kamara, if Salon people elect you president, what are the concrete steps that we go take for end violence against women and girls? 30 seconds.
To start with, I want everybody to know that I signed up to the International He for She initiative that protects women. I will therefore continue to be an advocate, a strong advocate for that matter, to support the rights of women, to empower them in all aspects of life, economically, politically, and socially, so that they'll be able to stand on their rights. And that's my vision, that's my commitment to the women of Sierra Leone.
I turn now to retired Brigadier Julius Madabio of the Sierra Leone People's Party. What you go do for end violence against women and girls?
I will therefore accept, say, the women constitute 51% of this population, and they should be equal partners in the process of development. And therefore, we should not abuse them. Domestic abuse of women is very rampant, and therefore we must take stringent actions to make sure that that is stopped, and also to make sure that we empower them to be part of the governance system, the all-inclusive system I have been talking about.
Thank you very much. Let's turn now to Mr. Mohamed Kamarin Ba Mansare of the Alliance Democratic Party.
Hassan, we were then at this stage right now. I mean, are the only presidential candidate we choose a woman as a running mate. Not to talk. How can I afford do now action? You see, change, now action oriented. When you want empower women, you need for sure action, not to just talk. I get me running mate as a woman, and he will be the next vice president of Sierra Leone.
Mr. Mohamed Kamarin Ba Mansare. Now turn now to Dr. Kande Kole Yunkela of the National Grand Coalition.
I first of all want to sympathize with my sister, we then do this heinous act too. But yes, number one, we go get for help for let the man then understand the value of women, and for let we change some of them with traditions where they subjugate women. But number two, get for enforce some of we tough laws. For that kind of action there, I go make sure say the law take in full course, so other people they know say you do an extent, you save trouble go meet you.
Alhaji Chief Samuel Samsumana of the Coalition for Change.
Thank you very much. The heart go out to the woman and the family for which. And I don't start very strong as an advocate against female violence. When I'm in there as vice president, I make sure, say, under the prerogative of us, any issue related with female violence, whether it's sexual or any other, I not take mercy. For this time, I'll make sure I continue to uphold the Constitution, the laws that will protect.
Thank you very much. Alhaji Chief Samuel Samsumana of the Coalition for Change. I'll go now to you, Dr. Samura Kamara of the All People's Congress. Now, in Sierra Leone today, sports has a huge potential for our youth. But sports and football in particular are dead. How will you revive sport?
I must apologize for that, about what's happening to sports in this country. I do believe there's significant room for improvement. I know sports, apart from involving the youth, sports is also an instrument of ensuring that there is peace and unity in every state. And therefore, I will do everything possible to encourage, to bring back sports, clean sport, to schools, starting at the primary level, up to the secondary, and then the tertiary level. I will try to do that because I'm a sportsman myself, and I know the value of encouraging sports among our youth.
Thank you very much. Dr. Samura Kamara of the All People's Congress. Retired Brigadier Julius Madabi of the Sierra Leone People's Party.
Sorry, the timer is not on. I can't cage myself.
Technical crew, can you sort out the timer, please? Just a minute, sir.
It's on.
Every contender in this particular round has 30 seconds. So we'll turn now to retired Brigadier Julius Madabio. The timer is working.
Okay, the only time where we don't go African Nations Cup, at the time where we've been there in government. We qualify for the Nations Cup and we win the Zone 2 twice. So you can rest assured that we go revive and resuscitate all forms of sport for make sure say we put Salone again on the map of the sporting world. For expose, we picking them and give them scholarship and create a special fund we go make go to the international theater, then we start sporting they take place.
Thank you. We go turn now to Mr. Mohammed Kamarimba Mansari of the Alliance Democratic Party.
The youth are tired. They're sick and tired of giving them handout. That's all they do. Bra, Bobodio. They're sick and tired. Like I said, let's stop the rhetoric. Let's try to create skills, jobs. And as president, come March 7, 2018, this is exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to empower the youth of this country and to make them live a meaningful life in Sierra Leone.
We go turn now to Dr. Kande Koleyumkela of the National Grand Coalition.
All man knows me a sportsman. So I will assure the youth then say, if I become president, we will reintroduce intercollegiate sports from school level go up. We go support the athletes. We go also make sure say we get regular training and indeed where possible to bring even international trainers to raise the level of we sports. But more importantly, we not go do what the APC they do. We not go put politics inside football. They left the footballer for let them do it and they do best and support the clubs.
Alhaji Chief Samuel Samsumana.
First of all, expunging the issue of the president being head of the sports council, we have to make sure so removed. And we, under the Coalition for Change, believe we have to start within the schools then, and at the same time, encourage what we've been getting before, not to Arsenal, Manchester over the top. Not to talk about Mighty Blackpool, Eastern Lions, Diamond Stars, etc., and revive sports in this country.
Thank you very much. Let's turn now to you. Alhaji Musa Charlie of the Citizens Democratic Party. I beg your pardon, sir. What you go do about sports and football?
I will respect the independence of FIFA and its related institutions. I will promote sports as pride or one of the activities that can promote the country and establish training of games and sporting activities across the country.
You still get 7 seconds. You want to use that?
I believe the independence of the institution.
Okay. We don't use that term, but thank you very much. I go turn now to retired Brigadier Julius Mada Bio. Corruption. 2 things where you go do for end corruption.
For stop corruption in this country, I go inject a huge dosage of discipline in the way we will govern this country. We have the ACC, which is one instrument, and we also get all the laws then way for support. What is lacking the political will. We still get people way above the law. So that aspect, definitely bringing in the discipline, which forms a part of my background, we'll be able to add that to the institution and the laws then for make sure we combat corruption in this country.
Mohammed Kamarimba Mansari.
Corruption and the cancer in Sierra Leone and the Ebola in Sierra Leone. You know, one thing, right now, get about 6 people here who want to be president, or make you show action, say you're not corrupt, or declare your assets. And none of these folks declare their assets to show they're not corrupt. They show they have the legality, how they get the money. You know, for start. So with my administration, I will end corruption in this country. And I'll
go now to Dr. Kande Koleyumkela.
We for strengthen the anti-corruption institutions. We for make sure say senior officials, president, minister, heads of agencies, permanent secretaries regularly, annually declare their assets. Number 3, we for make let the people they know when we give contracts to people for do activities for them, how much we give them and what they be supposed for do. So the citizens themselves go they watch who side the money they go and who that them give that money they what to do with that.
Alhaji Chief Samuel Samsumana, you talk.
First of all, we can look at what government they do. Government they encourage corruption.
Because if they pay somebody less than $1 a day, they're recipe for corruption. We will look into that, address that issue. Also, we have to give independence to the anti-corruption. At the same time, we have to make sure the judiciary and the police work in their own way so that nobody will interfere in the discipline to take off and act all.
Now let's turn to Alhaji Musa Charali of the Citizens Democratic Party. See what you go do for end corruption at this country.
I will stop political interference, support sensitization, provide better conditions of service, and strengthen investigation.
And finally, we'll go to Dr. Samura Kamara. Mic a problem? I think the one in front of you seems to work. Oh. Hello? Okay. Once we sort out the mic, we want to play one short documentary. This is something we got when our teams went around the country ahead of the debate. And this documentary is supposed to show a snapshot of what life is like in Sierra Leone today. But I think we'll hold it there and just check. Yes. Well, I'm afraid we'll have to hold on to the documentary for now, with our apologies to the candidate of the All People's Congress, Dr. Samura Kamara. If you will kindly take your 30 seconds.
Thank you, Hassan. The fight against corruption will be my greatest commitment, the greatest commitment of our administration, knowing exactly the negative effects of corruption in our society. We already have an institutional legal framework which we're going to strengthen and make it stronger in the fight against corruption. But certainly also will engage and strengthen civil society engagement in the fight against corruption. Thank you.
Now we turn to Mr. Mohammed Kamarimba Mansari. Infrastructure development is a big thing in our country, and important in any country. And we get two projects there right now with a very big project there, and an important project in the country. One at the Mamama Airport, and the second one at the toll road. What thing are you view on their wire, and how you go approach them if you become president?
Thank you, Hassan. I don't make my point clear. I'm the only presidential candidate a week when they go inaugurate me as president, and they stop the toll road. Nobody know they pay 1 cent. That toll road, APC toll road, and we they cut them off. The second infrastructure department where they talk on Mama Airport, now Flux, Lunge Airport, will not even use them the way we want to. So
thank you very much. We go now to Dr. Kande Kole-Yunkela. I think we have a problem with the microphone. Okay.
I think it's...
If we can just start the time again, please. 30 seconds. Can you roll it back? Thank you.
The method where they use for do the toll road wrong. We not get a tolling policy in the country. It wrong for let people then begin pay for toll road where the road not done yet. And also the road completely overpriced. Me believe say that price then at 3 times what it for be. The Mamama will get for consider them very carefully, because the country get too much debt. And for add more debt will cause burden for the people. And that's not do longer right now.
Alhaji Chief Samuel Samsumana.
Mamama, yes, but indeed we'll get priorities. We'll not get running water all over the country. Get Lungo Airport. Why we'll get for force about Mamama at this time? But we'll get some. Looking at the toll road, I know say nobody know and pay us rent, and also not completed. So we believe say if that road been there without no hindrance, why a toll road? We will cost like $336 million at the end of the 27 years.
Now we turn now to Alhaji Musa Charali. Toll road and Mamama Airport. 30 seconds.
I would prefer for expand Longe International Airport and make a commercial city in Longe. Build a port there than the Mamama Airport. on the toll road, na alternative road for me toll. Become president, I will renegotiate it. We pay the people them for complete time, we pay them and they complete it.
We go now to Dr. Samura Kamara.
Thank you. I think the problem we get from my colleagues is to play politics with and a development that will transform this country. Both the toll road and the Mama Airport are two major projects that will create opportunities for economic empowerment, that will create serious jobs for our people and move the country further forward so that Sierra Leone will better stand the test of times.
Retired Brigadier Julius Madabio.
Thank you. The toll road shrouded in secrecy, the agreements and everything, and therefore we need to do a review and also do what we call value engineering for determine whether we get value for waiting we put into that. We also need to do a complete and holistic evaluation of all other infrastructure projects going on, because as far as I'm concerned, most of them are sham, including the Mamama.
Thank you very much. And now we go turn to Alaji Hande Ole Yunkela. And I want to ask you, very interesting, this theory that they call Tusim and the diaspora, it don't become big issue. What you go do about this and about the Sierra Leone and the all winner people that what they call diaspora now?
We don't put on our manifesto. All diasporans, we will immediately move legislation to give them voting rights where they are. Second, we will also work with the judiciary and the parliament to make sure we repeal those areas of our constitution that are discriminatory to diasporans or dual nationals. But I do believe that a president cannot be a dual national.
Alhaji If Samuel Samsumana.
The issue of dual citizenship, clearly, one, we know so to get a lot of support from we brothers and sisters. Why spite them? When we need them, then support, then they fall away. And the issue of dual citizenship, yes, the Constitution presently quiets it about but we will look it around and make sure so we address wherein the president no get dual citizenship or therefore be patriotic.
Alaji Musa Tarali, you turn.
I believe in the rule of law. We will engage as a nation to create the enabling atmosphere for make people in the diaspora participate. I will also ensure that we get mobile facility where they go left overseas and they process their passports and ID cards without coming here. If we bring the people closer and include them in the development process.
Dr. Samura Kamara.
Thank you. I think personally, in my years in managing the affairs of this country, I don't see the advantage of having the diaspora family-footed, providing resources and contribute to economic development. Fortunately, there is a constitutional provision is diverse, also different from Madual Act. What I will do is try to create an enabling environment whereby the diaspora will continue to develop. Certainly, we look at the constitutional provision and provide a more enabling environment.
Retired Brigadier Julius Madabio.
Well, actually, me, I don't get double SIM. I always don't be a Sierra Leonean. Although some people don't offload one SIM, but we believe, say, anybody where they out of this country, when a part of this country, don't they contribute, we for encourage them. We not for use the law as it has been used for discourage them or exclude them from the political processes, because they are part of the economy of this country and they contribute immensely. So it is a law that we have to review.
Mr. Mohammed Kamarin Bamansari.
I love this country. I worship this country after God. And I assure you one thing. Nobody not forget 2 SIM or 3 SIM, wait for be president of the Republic of Sierra Leone. So whoever get 2 SIM, make it just resign and go wait. The second thing I tell you, as the diaspora, and they give them voting right as president. And the first 90 days, we're going to enact them law in day.
Alhaji Chief Samuel Sam Sumana. Now I'm going to read this diaspora by English.
Again?
Existing investment. Oh no, you don't talk about diaspora. Yes. Existing investment agreements between governments and companies contain duty waivers, exemptions, and tax holiday provisions for companies. This has resulted in severely reduced financial benefits for the state from the exploitation of our natural resources. What would you do differently with respect to large-scale investment in natural resources if you win power?
First of all, we as a nation endowed natural resources. But for far too long, we don't eat the crumb. Don't eat the remnants. This time around, we have to make sure, under this coalition for change, that the beneficiation also stays in Sierra Leone. No more for we go to the 3%, but more to it. And also, we will enforce, then come there, for do added value to them product, and so that we create jobs for we use them at this country.
So we'll turn now to Dr. Samura Kamara of the All People's Congress.
I think two things. The first one is, what do you do to attract quality investment? And secondly, how do you ensure that this investment is to the benefit of the country? Firstly, there have been in our tax regime, possible that we have an onerous tax regime. Secondly, and more importantly, we ourselves as a nation must be quite prepared to discuss with investors so that we have a profitable investment environment.
Thank you very much. Now we turn now to retired Brigadier General Fadabio.
Well, definitely we don't benefit from the vast natural resources we'll get, because we not only make proper arrangement for we own share as a country, and for make sure say the communities that we suddenly pull then minerals there, then self also get. So we get for make sure say we put farm laws in place. We go make sure say the communities in this country at large get waiting they forget from every activity we involve minerals.
Mr. Mohamed Kamarimba Mansur.
You know, it hurts me when we talk about taxes. All the mining companies then combined, the revenue, the tax that they pay to government, all of them is less than waiting Airtel, Orange, they pay. It's sickening, unacceptable. As president, we not go get a Sierra Leone for the selected few, but now for every Sierra Leone made them benefit from we resources.
Now we go now to you, Dr. Akande Koleyum-Kela.
A report come out which shows say in 2011 and 2012, this economy lost 240 million just in duty waivers and also all kinds of incentives. This was more than what we spent on both education and healthcare. When I come in, we'll review those tax holidays. Second, we will make sure the areas where these resources are, they benefit more than the 0.1% that is given to them.
Okay, we'll go to the next round now. And I think before we go to this, we'll go just that quick one, Alhaji Musa Ali. Sorry.
This happened because we not get scientific records on the value of natural resources. I go do geospatial survey, get scientific records, we go strengthen we as a government for negotiate from a position of strength. Secondly, I go audit the stock, the operations and sales of the existing mining companies, or make we identify defaulters and get back waiting we don't lose as a nation.
Thank you very much. I don't get all mine. Have you don't get yourself, sir? Yes. Yeah, just check, sir, I don't miss you. Okay. So we go to the next round now, and before that, play one short clip where they show a snapshot of life in Sierra Leone today.
water problem. We have too much from January to February, March now. No get water there. Pass some, then go na the swamp, then go dig. But that digging the back na clay na they come up. Pass we drink ourselves, so then pass and put them close before you drink.
For maybe there is the one go to any hospital, then they treat me, then they ask me for anything. Then they ask me for anything, and then they give me the kind medicine where the complaint I go with, then they give me the exact medicine, then they give me the treatment according to the complaint. And I really tell God thank you for the nurses there. Anytime you go, you meet nurses, they're accurate and active on duty.
I make I see the losses and pass the profits because sometimes I can see like I can don't get like 50,000 profits, but side my machine and bug machine pool. Then beside we not get lights here and I feel like the buy. And the cost of the fuel 1 liter is 7,000 euros. And maybe sometimes I know they get fund up to even reach 15 or even 20. You see? So now make I say well the losses is pass the profits.
Block my bed because we not get permanent school building, so we need school building because when the season they come and the community then take and make a fit for sale for make them go able to give a building. So I make over to say the only way we go able for help them, pass to go take them, block them, clear and go there for them.
There are lots of changes. Some are positive changes, some are negative. The positive changes, there are some learning, there are some improvements in learning, really. But the negative changes, the teaching, the supplies of teaching and learning materials has dropped. Because since I started teaching, in the school that I was teaching, children will have at least 3 to a reader, but now we are supplied at 1 reader to a class, and we the teachers take the constraints to write on the blackboard.
You don't want to get sleep. I can feedback from it because you don't match on now. 10 on me they do for them. They're supposed to do for me now, but 10 on me they do for them because of passing.
I know say when somebody I do must involve inside violence or thief, armed robbery, and for that we decide say look can in a bush, Lord they manage the life now. You see, but they find a very difficult really. Even you survival for the day forget that it's not easy.
Bike rider, my brother, not the life for the road, a fine, a nice, a smooth, you know, get gallop, and they enjoy.
But for more than thing happen, I begin drink and smoke. Man, I rag nobody. I begin smoke, I begin drink, come like bang bang. Because I know where you encourage me.
No easy, because like me now, me bobo, I be jalo. They help me greatly. They help me. They ride bike.
If they plead to them for say, they are let them make dam na 91 peace village, they suffer. And if you look kill a better we the polio them. If you can't look at polio, they suffer. Forget what's on 91. It's painful.
One, I want that shift system to be completely abolished. Then secondly, that we should have enough teaching and learning materials. You see these children, when they have the materials, when they see things, they remember. But we only teach in abstracts.
I appeal to whosoever get for can as a president after the election. I appeal to her for make them will continue for improve on the free health care more and more, so that the system not will die down, neither it will fade away. It will continue for day on and on. And
let's for keep money for develop, but my share among so pass that money with farmer. So me if you like say I will extend this business. This not go be bad for I will extend this business, and this business if like they are I will turn out as concrete and be like put even still do much by God the power. So now light we want now this community. They
appeal to any government where they can empower for making put a food support for the road made, because the road if you get the road in the country, find the road in the country, I hope so we not get traffic.
Me dream here for be after I do achieve my education, for I be member of parliament, for I be I get the right for I be mayor, I get the right for I be liable work na education field, for liable get me aunt to month, liable do for me family.
As for me, I go want to say I go able to be the biggest doctor inside salon.
That was a snapshot of life in Sierra Leone, and it illustrates the most important resource that our country has and the challenges they face. And that resource is, of course, the people. Therefore, tonight, we will start looking at your plans for human development. Here, we would like to examine how you plan to tackle issues such as health and education, housing and water. You have 2.5 minutes, and we'll start on health and education. Alhaji Musa Tarawale.
The health sector, key to the development of every nation. We have to support our health sector development locally. And to achieve this, I will change the road funds to health funds, so that every cent derived from the pumping price will support the health sector. I will also bring the EPA under health and sanitation too. Sanitation is a big enterprise. The EPA is making millions of dollars. We have to ensure that the health sector supported locally, move away from the donor-driven approach as beggars to sustainable development. I will also make sure that we encourage investment in the health sector for produce medicines locally, and also for establish an internationally certified training facility for nurses, doctors, and engineers. The world demands a lot of health practitioners. We have the human resource to capacitate. It's a whole investment on its own and a big enterprise. My government will encourage investors to train nurses, doctors, engineers, and open for them the windows to have international jobs. With the monies where we will get for support the health sector, we will also improve on the working conditions, the wages, salary, and accommodation. The nurses, doctors don't prove to be heroes in this country. So therefore, much attention is needed. I think if we support the health sector locally, every other support we will get from bilateral relationships can be additional.
So Alhaji Musa Sali, I noticed I asked about health and education, but you're not talking anything about education. That's not important. The time don't go, but is that not too important?
No, the education is very important. And what I will do to promote education is to encourage faith-based educational system, wherein religious organizations will invest in the educational system.
All right. So for you, you can make religious organization and take over the education system.
As in the West, Harvard University, and the Catholic state owner. In UK, you have a lot of institutions where now
thank you very much, sir. Since you don't exhaust the time, we'll go turn now to Dr. Samura Kamara of the All People's Congress. Health and education, your vision.
Hassan, these are testimonies that we actually encountered during our campaign tour with my running mates and our colleagues who accompanied us. In many parts of the country, especially in the Sabo Islands, we see the difficulties of water, the difficulties of even communication networks, the difficulties of children deprived of educational institutions. We saw how really even transport facilities were very, very bad in those places. I will tell you, there and then, we started providing support for these people. I feel sorry for them because these are part of the deprived communities, marginalized communities. And I promise them that in our administration, we'll make sure that we bring these people at the center stage. Hence, we have our manifesto for the grassroots. On education, I was reminded by Mr. Abdullahi Fofana of Yagoi village, who informed us that he had a 3-room school, where in the morning he will have a primary school, and in the afternoon transform it into a secondary school. That is unforgivable, and I think it rings the bell that we must go back to the drawing board and try to improve the livelihoods of these people. Water. In my village, where my father comes from,
we're not carried to water.
In education, I do believe that the youths are longing for quality education, for good careers, and certainly a quality education that will give them guaranteed jobs, not only for Sierra Leone, or the international community at large. And I can see students yearning for the opportunities to have really clean education where we need to look at the integrity of the system, because presently we have a lot of malpractices in the system, examination fraud, etc. We look at the affordability of schools, and we also look at pre-primary and even primary school, and then we move forward.
Dr. Samuel Kamara, you mentioned that when you saw the state or somebody's life during your campaign, you felt it was unforgivable. Who or what will you blame for that?
Well, I blame governments, because governments have a social responsibility to provide for the people. I do that. And that's why going forward, I have to be honest enough to say this will be a topmost priority. And that's why we are factored in our agenda, in our manifesto. We call it the Grassroots Manifesto, which is looking at this human development aspect.
Thank you very much. Let's turn now to retired Brigadier Julius Madabio. Your vision for improving health and education in Sierra Leone.
I will start with education. Education, good for personal development and also national development. The human capital, we the people in this country, are the most important resource we'll get. Sometimes sometimes when you ask a Sierra Leonean, they begin count diamond, gold. They're not even sabi waiting a gold, waiting a diamond. But we believe say the human beings, then we, the people, constitute the most important asset to this country. But for me to be useful to our country and contribute meaningfully, we need to get education, quality education, give skills and the knowledge we go make we free for move around the world, become competitive and also become productive in this modern world. Therefore, the flagship program of the new manifesto, the People's Manifesto, now free education for all kids from primary school to secondary school. A lot of people, they drop out of school because they don't get money for pay the little that they need for pay. Me, don't say to say, I go pay, as a government, we go pay for all kids in primary school, public primary school and secondary school. Sometimes they say it's very expensive, but I always tell people, they say, for spend on the human being, for me, not expensive. If you want, try ignorance. Ignorance is more expensive than education. Health, you cannot develop without a healthy population. And therefore, we therefore make sure, say, the limited investment we would put into the health sector, we actually develop not only the physical infrastructure, but also the human resource capacity for able to do what we call disease prevention, disease control, and also disease surveillance. We therefore make sure, say, we get the right people for able to do all of the internet in the health sector so that we could get a healthy population for undertake the development aspirations of our country.
Can you flesh out a little bit on what you mean by free education? Does that mean people will not pay fees and anything else?
The free education where they talk about includes they cover pupils from class 1 till and down secondary school. Of course, we take the SS4 because now a waste of time where the APC bring. This particular program, they cover school fees, books and uniform and other educational materials. That means they don't get for pay for all of them things. And
how much will that cost? How much will that cost?
Say again?
How much will that cost the state?
I'm not getting you.
Okay, my apologies. How much will it cost to provide this free education?
According to the census, school census of 2015, we get 2 million kids we will get for work for. Using a unit price of 380,000 leones, that go amount to 115 billion. And we go able to get that money easily by making sure that excessive tax waivers and tax exemptions are reduced by 50%.
Thank you very much. Mohammed Kamarin Bamansari, health and education.
Health. You know, our country, our health system is not what a Sierra Leonean deserve. We people them don't deserve waiting they get now, wait and sick. I've been there 10 days there. I've been Tegbema, one village they were go na Bundubu. I meet Okada, one woman sick. A man Olam, the Okada, the Olam for Karangona hospital. I get for stop. I say, hey, wait here for this woman. They said the woman they die. Ambulance no day. Nothing no day for take this woman na hospital. He hurt me. This of 57 years who get independent. Up to now, we they play cook with the people of this country their life. Enough. My administration, I don't talk so we will not even get hospitals in this country. Now a cake clinic they will get. Now I make way government officers and sick, they go abroad, then go take care of themselves. They send them picking them, they wife them and go born abroad. Oh yeah, we health system complete mess. I go change them in 3 weeks when I be president. The second thing, By God in power, I go change most of them policies and they. Education. I been on the talk say, people and they talk just for talk's sake. Again, my colleagues then they raise my hand. I know when they work for government, we get former ministers there, former vice president, and former head of state. But me, we know one day work for government, one day church, this country money, I they build schools out of me fund for sure say, picking them education important. So if I build school with me resources, imagine when I they control the country resources, what I go do. You know, education system in this country, and a complete mess. I mean, a total mess and unacceptable. And we they go back to the drawing board, and like Mr. don't promise, we can make sure say no child left behind, and every Pekin they get quality education, and they no go share one answer sheet, 5 Pekin and no go share and again as alone.
So you say you will change the health service, the health sector in this country as soon as you become president, if the people elect you president. How will you change it and how
Absolutely. Soon? When we go start, we they give plenty money. In fact, the ambulances we will get before even Ebola in this country, then less than the motorcade of the president, then less than the motorcade of the vice president in this country. So what will they do? They can cut 70% of the country, about 70% of a country income. It go towards paying salaries, benefits, and all those lucrative things then for government, top government officers. Will they cut that money down? And when will they cut them? Will they go try for set things in place?
Okay. And you also say you've been building schools. How many have you built?
Say that again.
You claim here that you have been building schools.
Yes.
How many?
The second school now they finish. With Lankono, when you they go put local district, and there's a town called Mamusa, we get 15 villages. No school, no did it. When I go and meet young people, them they play, my body be they rise. Now I tell them say when I give me
all right.
I build the school and then none.
So how many schools?
But me don't build my second school now.
How many schools have you built?
I said I'm my second school this.
Thank you very much. Let's go now to Alhaji Kande Yumkela.
The conditions where you show na that video, na that way they see where they go campaign, and we believe say now one of the worst legacies of the APC regime. For see people then they suffer that kind of way, the toilets they're not in a school, clean water not they, people they not they get proper health care in spite of the promises. For education, we don't talk, we declare immediately an education emergency. Under that emergency, we reform the Ministry of Education, split her into 2 directorates, one for basic education, one for tertiary education. Number 2, we go build more schools. 42% of we population, they below 18. So you obviously the demand there for increase. We need more schools for let we able to stop the 2-shift system. Number 2, then 30,000 teachers. We not get PIN code. We get for regularize them. We get for train with teachers better. Give them better incentives. Number 3, we get for work with the private sector. Private sector schools and they work well in this country. Why government you know for work? Number 4, we go introduce a water and sanitation program for all schools. The final one, we consider seriously compulsory free primary education. We limit them to that level because we know say already education they take about 20% of our expenditures. Healthcare. The health story is sorry. More women than they die in a than they go born picking than any side. So healthcare, major reform as well. Number 1, we get for train more nurses and doctors. Primary healthcare important. We get for establish more what we call primary healthcare units. Now then village. Number 3, we need for train more doctors. So I go work very well with the College of Medicine for see how we go expand them programs for train more doctors and nurses for this country. Of course, the physical infrastructure matter. We for upgrade the district level hospitals that we get. More expansion, electricity and clean water for day and day unit and day. For example, we need for get electricity for store blood. We need electricity for get better sanitation and clean water. So you get for do that linkage between a good hospital and the availability of electricity and clean water.
Dr. Samora Kamara, Kanda Yumkela's vision for health and education seems very grand. Do you believe him?
Well, I don't know whether he knows the true cost of thing. But I want just to inform him that what is happening is fault of successive government, not only an APC phenomenon, but again, I think that again, my colleague quoted some figures, he quoted some figures about the cost of primary education or education at large. I tell you, currently we meet 10% of the budget on education. That is over 5 trillion leones. And over 50% of that is primary education. Whenever you want to make free primary education, not to talk of high school education, you must look at the envelope, resource envelope, because you get competing development issues, you have health, water, etc.
Let me just hold you there, Dr. Kanda Yumkela.
But I do believe we have a competent and a willing private sector that will help us move these two sectors forward. But I will tell you over and above that I, as president, I am moved by the spirit of these people and the resilience that they have to withstand these current challenges until there is time for us to improve.
Thank you very much, Dr. Samora Kamara. Alhaji Musa Tarali, is there anything you've picked from what Dr. Samora Kamara has just said?
You see, Mr. Moderator, the major problem in this country is the political will. Housing and water are big enterprises. Government for take off the burden from in. The people don't tire with theories. The people want to see tangible development. The dam we have today was made for 300,000 people. The city gets past 1 million people. I took the Deputy Minister of Water Resources to Morocco. He saw the dam there. Now they move away from the donor-driven approach as beggars to sustainable development. I will also make sure that we encourage investment in the health sector for produce medicines locally, and also for establish an internationally certified training facility for nurses, doctors, and engineers. The world demands a lot of health practitioners. We have the human resource to capacitate. It's a whole investment on its own and a big enterprise. My government will encourage investors to train nurses, doctors, engineers, and open for them the windows to have international jobs. With the monies where we will get for support the health sector, we will also improve on the working conditions, the wages, salary, and accommodation. The nurses, doctors don't prove to be heroes in this country. So therefore, much attention is needed. I think if we support the health sector locally, every other support we will get from bilateral relationships can be additional.
So Alhaji Musa Tarali, I noticed you asked about health and education, but you're not talking anything about education. That's not important. The time don't go, but is that not too important?
No, the education is very important. And what I will do to promote education is to encourage faith-based educational system, wherein religious organizations will invest in the educational system.
All right. So for you, you can make religious organization and take over the education system.
As in the West, Harvard University, that the Catholic is the owner. In UK, you have a lot of institutions where now
thank you very much, sir. Since you don't exhaust the time, we'll go turn now to Dr. Samora Kamara of the All People's Congress. Health and education, your vision.
Hassan, testimonies at video. These were testimonies that my running mate and I, plus our actually encountered several parts of the
We seem to have a problem with your microphone there, and I would just like to pause the proceedings with our apologies again, and we'll start your time again, I think. Can we start 2:30 after we've tested the mic, please? Technical team?
Hello.
Okay, you can start now, sir.
As I was saying, Hassan, these are testimonies that we actually encountered during our campaign tour with my running mates and our colleagues who accompanied us. In many parts of the country, especially in the Sabo Islands, we see the difficulties of water, the difficulties of even communication networks, the difficulties of children deprived of educational institutions. We saw how really even transport facilities were very, very bad in those places. I will tell you, there and then, we started providing support for these people. I feel sorry for them because these are part of the deprived communities, marginalized communities. And I promise them that in our administration, we'll make sure that we bring these people at the center stage. Hence, we have our manifesto for the grassroots. On education, I was reminded by Mr. Abdullah Fofana of Yagoy village, who informed us that he had a 3-room school, where in the morning he will have a primary school, and in the afternoon transform it into a secondary school. That is unforgivable, and I think it rings the bell that we must go back to the drawing board and try to improve the livelihoods of these people. Water. In my village, where my father comes from,
we're not carriers to water.
In education, I do believe that the youths are longing for quality education, for good careers, and certainly a quality education that will give them guaranteed jobs, not only for Sierra Leone, or the international community at large. And I can see students yearning for the opportunities to have really clean education where we need to look at the integrity of the system, because presently we have a lot of malpractices in the system, examination fraud, etc. We look at the affordability of schools, and we also look at pre-primary and even primary school, and then we move forward.
Dr. Samuel Kamara, you mentioned that when you saw the state or somebody's life during your campaign, you felt it was unforgivable. Who or what will you blame for that?
Well, I blame governments, because governments have a social responsibility to provide for the people. I do that. And that's why going forward, I have to be honest enough to say this will be a topmost priority. And that's why we are factored in our agenda, in our manifesto. We call it the Grassroots Manifesto, which is looking at this human development aspect.
Thank you very much. Let's turn now to retired Brigadier Julius Madabio. Your vision for improving health and education in Sierra Leone.
I will start with education. Education, good for personal development and also national development. The human capital, we the people in this country, are the most important resource we'll get. Sometimes when you ask a Sierra Leonean, they begin count diamond, gold. They don't even sabi waiting a gold, what's in a diamond. But we believe, say, the human beings, then we, the people, constitute the most important asset to this country. But for make we be useful to the country and contribute meaningfully, we need to get education, quality education, give kids and the knowledge we go make we free for move around the world, become competitive, and also become productive in this modern world. Therefore, the flagship program of the new manifesto, the People's Manifesto, now free education for all kids from primary school to secondary school. A lot of people, they drop out of school because they don't get money for pay the little that they need for pay. Me, don't said to say, I go pay, as a government, we go pay for all kids in primary school, public primary school and secondary school. The sometimes they say it's very expensive, but I always tell people, they say, for spend per the human being, for me, not expensive. If you want, try ignorance. Ignorance is more expensive than education. Health, you cannot develop without a healthy population. And therefore, we therefore make sure, say, the limited investment we would put into the health sector, we actually develop not only the physical infrastructure, but also the human resource capacity for able to do what we call disease prevention, disease control, and also disease surveillance. We therefore make sure, say, we get the right people for able to do all of the internet in the health sector, so that we could get a healthy population for undertake the development aspirations of our country.
Can you flesh out a little bit on what you mean by free education? Does that mean people will not pay fees and anything else?
The free education where they talk about includes they cover pupils from class 1 till and down secondary school. Of course, we take the SS4 because now a waste of time where the APC bring. This particular program, they cover school fees, books and uniform and other educational materials. Then that means they do not get for pay for all of them things. And
how much will that cost? How much will that cost?
Say again.
How much will that cost the state?
I'm not getting you.
Okay, my apologies. How much will it cost to provide this free education?
According to the census, school census of 2015, we get 2 million kids we will get for work for. Using a unit price of 380,000 leones, that go amount to 115 billion. And we go able to get that money easily by making sure that excessive tax waivers and tax exemptions are reduced by 50%.
Thank you very much. Mohammed Kamarin Bamansari, Health and Education.
Health. You know, our country, our health system is now what the Sierra Leoneans deserve. We people them and don't deserve waiting it again now, wait and sick. I've been there 10 days there. I've been Tegbema, one village that they were go, na Bundubu. I meet Okada, one woman sick. A man Olam, the Okada, the Olam for Kerangona Hospital. I get for stop. I say, hey, wait here for this woman. They say the woman they die. Ambulance no day. Nothing no day for take this woman na hospital. He hurt me. This of 57 years, go get independent. Up to now, we they play cook with the people of this country their life. Enough. My administration, I don't talk so we will not even get hospitals in this country. Now, a cake clinic they will get. Now, make way government officers and sick, they go abroad. Then go take care of themselves. They send them picking them, they wife them and go born abroad. Oh yeah, we health system a complete mess. I go change them in 3 weeks when I be president. The second thing, by God in power, I go change most of them policies and the education. I be on the talk say people and they talk just for talk's sake. Again, my colleagues then I they raise my hand. I know when they work for government, we get former ministers there, former vice president, and former head of state. But me, we know one day work for government, one day church, this country money, I they build schools out of me own fund for sure say the kingdom education important. So if I build school with me own resources, imagine when I they control the country resources, what I go do. You know, education system in this country in a complete mess. I mean, a total mess and unacceptable. And we they go back to the drawing board and like Mr. don't promise, we can make sure say no child left behind and every Pekin, they get quality education and they no go share one answer sheet, 5 Pekin and no go share and again as alone.
So you say you will change the health service, the health sector in this country as soon as you become president, if the people elect you president. How will you change it and how
Absolutely. Soon? One, when we go start, we dey give plenty money. In fact, the ambulances we will get before even Ebola in this country, then less than the motorcade of the president. Then less than the motorcade of the vice president in this country. So what will they do? They can cut 70% of the country, about 70% of the country income. It'll go towards paying salaries, benefits, and all those lucrative things then for government, top government officers. Will they cut that money down? And when will they cut them? Will they go try for set things in place?
Okay. And you also say you've been building schools. How many have you built?
Say that again.
You claim here that you have been building schools.
Yes.
How many?
The second school now they finish, with Lankono, when you go put local district, and there's a town called Mamusa. We get 15 villages. No school, no did. When I go and meet young people, them they play, my body be they rise. Now I tell them, say, when I give me
all right,
I build the school, and then none.
So how many schools?
But me don't build my second school now.
How many schools have you built?
I said I'm in second school this.
Thank you very much. Let's go now to Alhaji Kande Yumkela.
The conditions where you show na that video, na that we they see where they go campaign, and we believe say now one of the worst legacies of the APC regime. For see people then they suffer that kind of way. The toilets they're not in a school, clean water not they people they not they get proper health care in spite of the promises. For education, we don't talk, we declare immediately an education emergency. Under that emergency, we reform the Ministry of Education, split her into two directorates, one for basic education, one for tertiary education. Number two, we go build more schools. 42% of we population, they're below 18. So you obviously the demand there for increase. We need more schools for let we able to stop the two-shift system. Number two, then 30,000 teachers. We not get PIN code. We get for regularize them. We get for train with teachers better. Give them better incentives. Number three, we get for work with the private sector. Private sector schools and they work well in this country. Why government you know for work? Number four, we go introduce a water and sanitation program for all schools. The final one, we consider seriously compulsory free primary education. We limit them to that level because we know say already education they take about 20% of our expenditures. Healthcare. The health story is sorry. More women and they die in a than they go born picking than any side. So healthcare, major reform as well. Number one, we get for train more nurses and doctors. Primary healthcare important. We get for establish more what we call primary healthcare units. Now then village. Number three, we need for train more doctors. So I go work very well with the College of Medicine for see how we go expand them programs for train more doctors and nurses for this country. Of course, the physical infrastructure matter. We for upgrade the district level hospitals that we get. More expansion, electricity and clean water for day and day unit and day. For example, we need for get electricity for store blood. We need electricity for get better sanitation and clean water. So you get for do that linkage between a good hospital and the availability of electricity and clean water.
Dr. Samora Kamara, Kande Yumkela's vision for health and education seems very grand. Do you believe him?
Well, I don't know whether he knows the true cost, but I want just to inform him that what is happening is fault of successive government, not only an APC phenomenon, but again, again, my colleague quoted some figures. Hello? Yeah, he quoted some figures about the cost of primary education or education at large. I tell you, currently we meet 10% of the budget on education. That is over 5 trillion leones. And over 50% of that is primary education. Whenever you want to make free primary education, not to talk of high school education, we must look at the envelope, resource envelope, because you get competing development issues, you have health, water, etc.
Let me just hold you there.
In Trinidad, with the blessed way God gave them of the natural resources of petroleum, then provide free tertiary education for them between them. We get natural resources. If we close down the leaks, all the leakages there, we'll get the capacity for provide the opportunity for children that when they graduate from universities, not only waiting for somebody to employ them, but they're able to learn and come out and employ themselves gainfully as productive citizens. This is not the foundation what we got for said. It's not only for we spending now, but we are embarking on a project where we will make the youth that are this country more productive. Consider a situation where a child was 5 years old before the Civil War, and then it lasted for 11 years. That gives us a young youth, uneducated, unemployed. Then the SLPP government came under Tijan Kaba, then train them for be masons, painters. What skills can, how much? I don't know where last me Uncle Change.
I'm afraid we've given quite a lot of time, but thank you very much indeed, Chief Samuel Samsumana. And I'll turn now to the presidential contender for the All People's Congress Party. We've heard the plans that you all have on building the health and education sectors in Sierra Leone. Let's turn to housing and water. First, do you agree, and not just you, all of you here, do you all agree that housing and water are priority issues?
Yes.
Do you all agree?
I totally agree.
Moderator, you left me out again for giving me views.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
But I mean, don't start with you, you remember?
Everybody you in vision, then
yes.
ask them views.
I can't, so you don't worry. I go give, I go make you challenge, don't worry, I beg. But I'll just allow Mr. Samura Kamara, Dr. Samura Kamara, let him talk to us about housing and water.
I totally agree that housing and water are critical priorities in our manifesto, and certainly for moving this country forward. That's why we do realize that the shortage of affordable housing, especially for our public servants, whether it's the police or the military officers or teachers, nurses, civil servants, etc., it's a very serious development challenge. And in our administration, we'll do what it takes to bring about programs that will address affordable housing facilities. And certainly the biggest challenge is slum dwellers, where because of environmental reasons, they're really struggling. So we'll try to look at a policy where you can economically and gainfully resettle and relocate these communities to better housing facilities. We've already seen what has happened during the mudslide. The private sector has helped us with 52 very good housing units, to which we are resettling those who suffered during the mudslide. And I think these are very encouraging aspects. On water, I was saying, in the village where my dad comes from, I went there. I will tell you, I saw the mothers and fathers struggling to have clean water system. Of course, I've done what I have to do to even improve that situation. But consider if it were Samura Kamara living in that environment, it would have been a difficult thing, diseases and all the rest of it. And that's why in our manifesto, we're going to do everything to make sure that housing as a priority is ably addressed, but more so a combination between the private sector and the public sector. It has to be a private-public partnership, because certainly government is encumbered with other challenges, and given the limited resources in the budget, government cannot handle it alone. But I do believe we have a competent and a willing private sector that will help us move these two sectors forward. But I will tell you over and above that, I as president, I am moved by the spirit of these people and resilience that they have to withstand these current challenges until there is time for us to improve.
Thank you very much, Dr. Samura Kamara. Alhaji Musa Taral, is there anything you've picked from what Dr. Samura Kamara has just said?
You see, Mr. Moderator, The major problem in this country is the political will. Housing and water are big enterprises. Government for take off the burden from in. The people don't tire with theories. The people want to see tangible development. The dam we have today was made for 300,000 people. The city gave past 1 million people. I took the Deputy Minister of Water Resources to Morocco. He saw the dam there, in a desert area. Give out the responsibility out to the private sector. Water is a big business and affordable cost. Then go invest in the dam, we get water in this country, take the waste and the damaged people there. Invest in the dam, get the water there, we go supply the whole city.
Mohammed say, they want to sell even the civil servant houses, told that. So they safe, because now the young people then they inside them building. So nobody not trust them. So what would I do? Housing crucial. I don't go na Kanike, Moab, Colbert, Crabtree. This past week, they campaign, they work a middle lane place and they. In one location, 21,000 people, they live in a pan body. You foresee the hole, where then they get water from. This is wrong in 21st century Sierra Leone. We go rebuild some of the shanty locations and they. But yes, you need public-private partnership and good financing, mortgage systems for let you get the private sector in for build affordable housing for people. I call them public-private partnership because yes, government get for provide some land, encourage some developers, we go develop their housing schemes and possibly some financing. Again, if we lock some the inside where money just they disappear, yeah, including fishing. Yeah, then another topics on there. I don't know if una they cover. So many side and day where money just they disappear now, yeah, because of deal making. Where we go use for them clean water, the basic rights, access to clean water. In fact, na sustainable development goal number 6, top priority. Now they boku the disease, then they come out where they affect them picking them. We get for give people them clean water. Yes, it get for be a combination of methods. We get for harvest water. If you go to Cape Verde, then they harvest water. So we get for do some water harvesting. We get a lot rainy season time. We get for do some small dams. And also, of course, major infrastructure for able pump and pipe to locations. In addition, more boreholes. We get a lot of mountains. We can use gravity. So water harvesting is crucial. Building the infrastructure to take it to the households is going to be crucial. But even for that, you're going to need public-private partnerships to get it through. But it's a basic right.
One of the main problems, even the Guma Valley Dam, the biggest of the dams in Sierra Leone, in terms of the cities, has is that people don't like to pay for water. And you are going to build these dams, you're going to bring these boreholes, and you'll have people who don't want to pay for them.
Yeah, we start with the rich. We start with the rich in the rich neighborhoods. We'll give them meters. I was in government when we tried that. Unfortunately, the policy was not very good. I can tell you that in my neighborhood, we would happily pay for clean water. And we should do that. Those who are wealthy should pay for clean water. We pay in Europe. We pay in America. And I have spoken to a lot of middle class, upper class people here. They just want the service. We charge those who are wealthy to pay, we subsidize the poor and make it free for most of them. But the schools need clean water in particular.
Alert from reminders.
It's very possible
Afro
that
Glamour
you
to
or
next
any of the
events,
other
planning
men
an
here
event
in
budget.
a few weeks' time will be the new president of Sierra Leone. Is there anything there that you might be able to pick in the case that you became president? Or are there things there that are totally unachievable?
I think the difference between men. Hello? Hassan, I think the difference between men is that I have a unique experience in managing these issues in a developing country. Me, I don't stay here for long since the war until now. Some, they don't go overseas. They run away, and now they come. So they don't have the experience. They can, it's not papi, go to papi talk, also show talk. You cannot just come and give the impression that these are simple challenges that we just address overnight. No. So that if you look even at some of the manifestos they've written, it's all promises, intention without substance. We all know that yes,
water and affordable housing are a critical problem. But you don't want to simplify it the way then they make like I say, you can tomorrow you go get
but Samurai, you know for complicated and either another me will not able to trust you.
No, I'm coming. I'm not being interfere.
The work and this, the problem.
Dr. Kande, Dr. Yumikela, I'm not being interfere or interrupt, so you be the talk. I just tell you, say, I, Samura Kamara, I get a unique experience over and above what you get.
Okay.
Manage the economy.
We'll hold it there because Chief Sam Sumana needs to now tell us what he will do about water and housing in Sierra Leone and where he will start.
Thank you very much.
Please, can we have some quiet? And we'd like to encourage the candidates to also try as much as possible to speak in English because we have a wide audience here from various countries of the world. Not all of them speak Creole. Can we have some silence, please? Chief Sam Sumana.
Thank you very much. It's very clear that water and housing are essentials of life. Very clear that in our country today there is need for 280,000 homes for us to solve our housing crisis. Looking at the condition of our people living in shanties or makeshift homes, with lack of proper regulations and building, and at the same time with poor planning of housing that has affected the status quo of fine cities or towns in the country as a whole. We will look into it and make sure that we engage each other to be able to build houses that are affordable, with use of our local material, and also at the same time put in a system, a mortgage system, that we can be able to utilize the financial institutions that can support the various schemes that we put in place at various tiers, at high-end, medium, and low-scale housing. In the area of water, it is very unfortunate that what we are faced with today in Freetown and the other parts of the country, that we still have a water reticulation system that is still pre-colonial, and that we in Freetown need to improve on that. As a government, a responsible government, we have to provide water for the people of this country, because we look at industrial water supply, domestic, and at the same time, can you imagine, there's only one fire hydrant in this country. Whenever there's a fire disaster in Freetown, there's always a colossal damage because we don't have fire hydrants around, and also with lack of water. These are very important, and we believe that under the Coalition for Change, that in order to harness water, here in Freetown alone, we have about 19 catchment areas, 3 of which are bigger than the present Guma Valley. So we have to look at it, not even to go and look at the high tech of it, but utilize what we have now as a God-given right. So I believe that in order to do this, we also need to include the private sector, both to improve on the housing problems that we have, and at the same time for water reticulation, so that we can have pure drinking water and avoid waterborne diseases at the same time.
You've spoken about the water situation in Freetown, and you are a son of the Komon-Tok district. How can you describe the state of water and housing in Komon-Tok?
I did my best as vice president. I wrote letters to Degrimont asking the French government to support us. There are 43 Degrimont points that were existing before in this country. Today, none is functional. When we look at it, for my case in of Komon-Tok, not only that the water point was destroyed, but also at the same time, the present mining activities with lack of proper environmental impact, it has reduced the water aquifer for the people of Edo City precisely. And you see, with all of this deep shaft mining or kimberlitic mining, it has affected the water level table in Komon-Tok. So there is no water supply, and which I endeavored then as vice president through the Kuwaiti government, but was frustrated by this regime not to help me have water reticulation in. Yes, just for the study of $450,000, which was to be provided by the Kuwaiti government, or stalled for what I don't know. So when we look at other parts of the country, because here I stand representing Sierra Leone, not Kono alone, and we look at the areas in Pujong, look at what they were supposed to have with the effort of the Degrimon, still not available.
Okay, and I just want to pick up again on something else you said. You said in terms of housing, we will make use of local materials. What sort of local materials?
We are very blessed to have clay in this country. Very affordable. For my part of the world in Kono, from the mining areas, when you talk about hydroform, you don't have to pay for it. With the use of clay, you can be able to build decent homes. Take the example from Rwanda, the type of homes they have. We can be able to build those homes for less by use of local material. Look at the skin they are using in other parts of the world, like Philippines, in their roofing system. We can also use the bamboo that we can build. If we continue to use these skills, employ the technology that are available in other parts of the world, then we will be able to harness that opportunity and provide affordable homes for the people of this country.
Thank you very much. Let's turn now to Alhaji Musa Tarawali. You had a thing or two to say about housing. You had a thing or two to say about water when you were challenging Dr. Samura Kamara. What will you do differently to change the state of water and housing in Sierra Leone?
My brother, government is poor. Government does not have money. Promises cannot solve the problem of the people. Theories cannot solve the problem of the people. I will encourage investment. That is how Dubai was built. That is how UK was built. That is how America is built. We have to encourage investors to invest in enterprises, create jobs for our people, pay tax, and empower our people to purchase the facilities. It's a two-track approach. We encourage investors and we empower our people, invest in our people to afford the services.
You still have more than a minute and a half if you'd like to continue.
I think I've mastered it. There is no way.
Please, can you allow him to speak?
There is no way we can play magic. We don't have money. We have to invite credible investors to participate, create jobs for our people, pay tax, and support our people to afford the services. They deserve quality health service. They deserve clean pipe-borne water. They deserve decent living conditions. And we can't afford this as a government, so we have to create the enabling environment for investors to invest, and we develop policies that can make it affordable.
You have 50 seconds, but since you've stopped, I'll ask you a question on that. What exactly would you offer to these investors that would bring them to Sierra Leone to invest in housing and water, rather than go to Ghana or Liberia or Guinea?
The political will. The political will must create the enabling environment by cutting the red tapes, no protocols, review the laws, give the facility that is required for them to believe this is home for them and invest.
Thank you very much indeed, Alhaji Musa Tarali. We've had quite a bit of time talking here, and I think it's time we give you all a little break so that maybe you can stretch a little bit and you can have a sip of water or two. Thank you very much, gentlemen, and thank you to the audience and to everybody listening and watching.
I hand you over to Hassan Haruni.
Thank you very much, John, and thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a long evening, but we know that the road ahead is even longer, because one of these gentlemen here tonight will be leading us in the next 5 years. Once again, we have Alhaji Musa Tawali, Dr. Samura Kamara, retired Brigadier Julius Madabio, Mohammed Kamarin Bamansari, Dr. Kande Kole Yumkela, and Alhaji Chief Samuel Sam Sumana. Now, plenty of people in Sierra Leone today say times are hard. Prices are high compared to their purchasing or earning power. This is an economy that relies largely on the exports of raw materials, subsistence agriculture, and small trading, petty trading. Our industrial base is very low, and we have a debt, a foreign debt, which has gone over $1.5 billion. What will it take to turn this around, and how do you, the candidates here tonight, plan to do it? Let's start first by examining your plans on jobs and revenue and reducing donor dependency. We'll start with retired Brigadier Julius Madabio. You have 2 minutes, 30 seconds.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. We have a serious problem with our economy. And to deal with this problem, we have to introduce some discipline in the way we spend the people's money. First is expenditure control. The APC government has been spending like drunken sailors. They've spent, the SLPP government left a reserve of over 5 billion leones and a foreign debt of about $250 million. As I speak to you, I'm just confirming what you said. We have a foreign debt of about 1.6 billion today. And of course, that tells you there is no reserve at all. This sort of reckless spending on the part of the government has created serious challenges for the people of this country. We have to introduce stringent measures. We also have to mobilize domestic revenue. We have to stop excessive tax exemptions due to waivers. That way we can create the savings necessary to support the government to pay for some of the essential services instead of having to depend on other countries or development cooperation partners to fund our own existence as a government. There is excessive expenditure on foreign travels. There is also a lot of use of foreign exchange on contracts within the country. These are things that we have to stop. So apart from mobilizing domestic revenue, we also have to make sure that we diversify our economy to be able to have more sources of revenue. And I have identified tourism as one of those areas to create more bases to diversify our revenue base. We transform the agriculture sector by certain policies to make sure that these productive sectors add up to our revenue base. I am going to seriously take action in the fishery sector so that we can have more revenue.
Thank you very much, retired Brigadier Julius Madabio. Could you just expound a little bit on the fishing sector? What will you do to make it different from what it is today?
We are losing quite a lot of money in that sector. We are not surveillancing our territorial waters. The governance of our fishery sector is non-existent. The license have not been monitored. So we are getting a meager sum of money from our fishery sector. So we have to look at that very seriously. For agriculture, we have to make sure that we can produce enough food and also cash crops and animals husbandry. We have to make sure that we can produce enough to eat at home and to sell so that we can generate foreign revenue for this country. That is how I intend to embark on the increasing the revenue or the intake of the government. We have the least domestic revenue mobilization effort in the whole of Africa. While Liberia is doing 18% of GDP and Guinea 17% of GDP, we are doing a mere 11.1% of GDP.
Thank you very much. We'll turn now to Mr. Mohamed Kamarimba Mansari, turning the economy around. Your plans on jobs and revenue, reducing donor dependence.
Thank you, Hassan. You know, Sierra Leone is a consuming country. We don't produce. For goodness sake, the toothpaste to brush our teeth, we are importing our toothpick in this country and toothpaste. We don't produce anything. And I was just thinking, since I started my campaign, I've always speak the local language, which is the Creole. And tonight, most of them, the voters, the average voters, they really want to comprehend what I'm talking to them about. So I'm going to continue a little bit with my Creole accent. The economy. The one thing about economy, make I tell you one thing. I've been talking today. We spend about $160 million just for import to staple food when I rice. That needs to stop. We need to stop that. You come into tourism, for goodness sake. Look at Gambia. Then depend on tourism. And Sierra Leone, we are just a mess when it comes to tourism in this country. So we need to rebuild Sierra Leone. And some of the things then back when I talk about this donor. This is not the country where government, the past, this is not just APC, but APC and SPP. When they give more money, you go bigger, then give more money, then they cry, oh my God, the party woke. Now look, they don't go give more money. It's shameful. They know they think about how for go talk about trade, all then they think about how for bigger, for get more money. And like I said, the reckless spending of this government must stop. And with my government, I will make sure that I put in place responsible financial dealings that will benefit the average Sierra Leoneans. We need even this tax credit, where the waivers, where you see all over now, big companies, mining, road companies, them they get just for benefits because they don't bribe some of them government officials them. All that needs to stop. And with my government, I will be very much tight about the economy, and we go back and drop the US dollar to where it's supposed to be. But for now, it's almost 1 million leons to $100.
So, Mr. Mansari, when you talk about these, when you mention responsible measures that you will bring, can you elaborate a little bit?
Absolutely. One of the responsible measures is you cannot put a thief to take care of your money. So we need to hire, we forget people and we now sober-minded people, and we're not corrupt-free, they record the show. We they put into place, because what it mean, money we mean for 30,000 people, now in 1 minister they take, it build big all the mansions them. So we need to put the right people where go able to govern this country. So one of them key in leadership, now the right people are around you. So that's now how my government will be responsible.
Thank you very much. We'll turn now to Dr. Kande Kole-Yunkela.
Thank you very much. One of the worst legacies of APC is ranker economics. This is the only country where you have them building roads instead of building schools. And these roads are 3 to 4 times more expensive than international benchmarks. So to get this economy back moving forward, we need to stabilize the economy. Meaning what? Control expenditures. Watch procurement. Number 3, make sure that we manage inflation well. Currently 17.8%. People are suffering. Manage your exchange rates.
and also lower interest rates and stop crowding out the private sector. We need to diversify the economy, creating new productive sectors, agribusiness supply chains. Some of these mining companies can also invest backwards to create supply chains for basic food stuff to their employees. We also need to look at tourism and also create a more viable digital economy with a lot of the youth that we have in the country. Fisheries, over 50%. There is a report that shows that over 50% of the trawlers are illegal trawlers. We are losing over $60 to $100 million just from bad management of the fishery sector. You know that I helped to build here a fisheries training school. The vision was for value addition onshore. That is not taking place. Also, to make sure that we meet the phytosanitary standards to be able to export directly to Europe. We still have to solve that problem. So if you look at the economy, if you stabilize the economy, you manage to invest in diversification, you need a vibrant and strong private sector to create jobs and wealth. So we will have special programs to work with the private sector. I'll set up a very solid economic management team. You already know that I have Samuel Itam with me. And that team will include some of the ex-governors, some of the managing directors of the private commercial banks and business people to work together on public-private partnership initiatives to stimulate this economy, create wealth, and create jobs.
Dr. Yumpela, can you explain that you did mention stabilizing the economy? What are these measures that you will put in place to do so?
Number one, expenditure controls. Our payroll is bloated. There's an estimate that when this government took over in 2006, we had 30 to 40,000 people on payroll. Now that's over 80,000. Some of those are ghost workers. BO mentioned some of the expensive traveling. And one of the biggest ones is procurement. And of course, the duty waivers and incentives that I mentioned before. 2011 alone, over 240 million just lost by duty waivers and all kinds of incentives given to entities that did not need it. You've got to plug that. You've got to manage also your exchange rate reserves, you've got to manage inflation and also interest rates. That's stabilization package.
Thank you very much. We'll turn now to Chief Samuel Samsumana. Your ideas on changing the economy, your plans on jobs and revenue and reducing donor dependency.
Thank you very much. One of the issues today I stand here that is rather disturbing is to find someone who has served as the governor of Central Bank, time Minister of Finance, and now that has failed the economy of this country. At the same time, yearning to be the president of this country. It doesn't add up to me. We have to look at the realities of our economy. When we're looking at that, we have to make sure, in order to be more sustained away from a donor-driven economy, we need to expunge corruption, minimize corruption to the highest level. We need to make sure that the leakages that are ongoing within the system are addressed. We need to make sure that there's added value to our natural resources or agricultural products. And when we look at all of this, the operationality of it, being the growth sector of the economy, being the marine resources, the mines or mineral resources, the agriculture, and the tourism. These are the growth sectors of the economy that we need to enhance and build the capacity that will bring us the revenue to help us stay away from a donor-driven economy. And so, though, under the Coalition for Change, in order to enhance that, we will put in place the operation of Sierra Leone Feed Yourself, Operation Feed Town. And that will also look into the agricultural sector, because our economy has been more of agro-based economy, looking back to the late 60s and 70s. We have to look at that. We have to make sure also that within the operations of added value, we under the Coalition for Change will make sure that we have one district, one factory, so that we can be able to add value to our natural resources and agricultural products. This will create employment, this will bring the tax revenue, and then will help us stay our